Hello, welcome to your Commercial Property Advisors podcast. I'm Peter Harris, your host, and today we're diving deep into a topic that's been stirring the real estate world for years, and that is which one should I invest in? Should I invest in 10 single family rentals or just one 10-unit multifamily property? Great question, right? So in today's video, not only will I go over with you the pros and cons of each, I will share with you which one of these take you quickest to financial freedom, and also which one has the best cash flow, 10 single family homes or one 10-unit multifamily property. I'll also share with you from a highly experienced standpoint which one of these produces less headaches. And lastly, which one has the best tax benefits? Got it? All right, great topic, right? So at any point you have any questions for me, you can text me live directly to Peter at 833-942-4516, and in real time, I'll get back to you. All right, let's get started. Are you excited? I am. Let's get started. Let's start right here with the pros and cons of buying 10 single family homes versus one 10-unit multifamily property. All right, so here we are. We're going to start off with the pros of buying 10 single family rentals. And there's lots of pros here, right? So pro number one is it's easier to finance, right? You can put down 5%. You just need to have a job and you can buy a home, a rental home, and you can build from there. Easier to sell because you have a lot of people wanting to buy your rental because they can either buy it as an investment or buy it to live in. So you have a large buyer pool, diversification of location. So basically, if you have 10 single family homes, you could take advantage of those multiple homes by being in different areas to capitalize on the growth of each area. Okay, great. And tenant stays. The tenant stays are longer. They average 3 to 4 years for your tenant to stay in your single family rental. Okay, that's huge. Okay, here are the cons to having 10 single family rentals. And again, there are cons. The first one to me is huge, the management complexity. All right, so you have to manage 10 different entities, 10 different people in 10 different locations or 10 different buildings. All right, that can be complex. Okay, next you have slower scalability. Right, how long did it take you to go from your first single family home to 10 and then going from 10 to 20? How long will that take? It'll take forever. Next is vacancy risk. This is huge. Okay, if we take out just one of your single family homes and a tenant moves out, that single family home has a mortgage on it that's not being covered by rent because the tenant left. So there's huge risk there. When you have a single family home, what's the vacancy when they leave? 100%. Okay. Next is higher cost per unit. This is compared to a multifamily property. So single family homes per home, per unit, cost more than a per unit multifamily property. Just does. Okay. All right. Next, I'd like to move on to the pros of one 10-unit multifamily property. Okay, just one property. Here are the pros. You have economies of scale here. Okay, it is more efficient to have a 10-unit multifamily property because you have one roof to deal with as opposed to 10, and you only have one mortgage to service as opposed to 10 mortgages over here. Okay, so economies of scale are so different here. Next, you have steady or steadier cash flow because you have less vacancy risk. Okay, so with your 10 unit, you have 10 tenants. If two move out, I'm still cash flowing. Okay. If you have two move out in your single family homes, you're not going to be able to cash flow. Okay, won't happen. All right. Next is this is huge. You can force the appreciation on your 10-unit property that you can't do on your 10 single family rentals. So when you get for multifamily, 5 units and greater is considered commercial. As the NOI goes up, so does the value. So every dollar of rental income increase that you get, it forces the property value up. You can raise the rents all you want over here on your rentals, your single family rentals, and the value is not going to go up. The value is based upon what's happening in the neighborhood on other properties. Okay. All right. Next is the tax benefits are huge in multifamily. I mean, huge, right? The depreciation is off the chart. It's magical if you need tax benefits or tax write-offs. Okay. This is by far one of the greatest things, in my opinion, once I got started, is experiencing the tax benefits of multifamily. All right. But there's also cons to having one unit, one 10-unit multifamily property, and that is you have a higher initial cost, especially the down payment. You can slowly build home by home here until you get to 10. But if you want to buy one 10-unit property, 10-unit multifamily property, there's a huge down payment to go in. Okay, so that's a con. Next is you have location sensitivity. Since you have your 10-unit building in one location, you are prone to what's happening in that location, whether it's good or bad. Okay. Next is you have a smaller buyer pool. Okay. In multifamily, the exit strategies is so important. How you're going to get out. And basically, how you're going to get out is someone buying your property. There's less people around on earth that can buy a 10-unit property than can buy a single family home. Okay. Let's just face it. And lastly, you're going to have higher turnover, or you're going to have shorter tenant stays. Typically, in your single family rentals, you have one tenant that will stay there for 3 to 4 years. In our multifamily, they stay there for only 1 to 2 years. Okay, so that's a con. Got it? All right. So those are the cons and benefits. And which way are you going? All right. Which way are you tending to go towards? Next, what I want to do is talk about a very important subject: is which one has the best cash flow? Let's do that next. Have something to share? We'd like to hear about it. Please comment below and we'll respond, including me personally. Here we are. Which one cash flows better? I'm going to give you a numerical example and have you make conclusions. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so for the 10 single family rentals, I paid $150,000 each. So my total buy over the years is 1.5 million. Okay, it's about 10. All right, down payment, I'll keep it simple, 25%. Okay, my interest rate was 6% over 30 years. That's an average over the time I bought it. The rent for each home is $1,500. Okay, so let's do the math. Okay, so I have 10 of these homes that are making $1,500. That's $15,000 a month. There's the income. I'm using expenses at about $600 a month for the home, which is about 40%, about industry standard. So my NOI, my rent minus my income, my NOI comes out to be $9,000. I subtract my mortgage payment. Okay, for the whole 10, that's 6,750. That was based upon the 6% in 30 years. So my NOI minus my mortgage equals my cash flow of 2,250 per month. So that's the cash flow per month for my 10 single family rentals. Okay, so broad example. I'm going to use the same example on our 10 unit multifamily property. So I paid the same price. I pay 1.5 million for my 10 unit my 10 unit multifamily property. And by the way, I know some of you are going to say, where can you find a 10 unit for 1.5? In the Midwest, you can. Okay, so there you go. All right, we have students that can prove it. All right, down payment, 25%. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to use the same interest rate over time, 30 years, 6%, 30 years. The rent is lower, okay, because single family homes tend to get higher rent per unit than we do with our apartments. That's just the fact. Okay. So instead of getting 1,500 on a 10 unit per unit, we're getting $1,200. Okay. So $1,200 times 10 units is 12,000 for the income. Expenses are less in a 10 unit multifamily property because everything is together. Everything is shared. Okay. We have one roof. I have one set of plumbing. I pay one property tax bill. Okay, so everything is shared. So expenses are lower, 35% around there. All right, so $3,600 a month, per month. Now here's my NOI. So income minus expenses equal NOI of $8,400 a month minus my mortgage payment, which is the same here, keep everything equal. So the cash flow is $1,650 per month, okay? Lower than my 10 single family homes. Interesting, right? Interesting, okay? Here's the big question here. The big question, on paper, which performs better? The 10 unit multifamily property that you thought it would, or the 10 single family rentals? The answer is the 10 single family rentals. On paper, it does, right? What's the problem? The problem is it's on paper only, okay? It's on paper only. In actuality, this 10 unit multifamily property will cash flow over the year or over the years much better than your 10 single family rentals. Let me show you why on this next screen. All right, here's why in the real world a 10 unit multifamily property in the real world, in actuality, will cash flow better over time than 10 single family rentals. Okay, hear me out here. All right, so if you recall, the 10 single family rentals had a cash flow per month of 2250 per month. Okay, so I'm gonna just peel off one home. So one home will, if I divide it by 10, it'd be $225 per month. Okay, now, if I multiply that one home by 12 months, I'm talking one home will, on paper, cash flow $2,700 per year. Okay. Now, here's a problem. Okay, the problem with when this home here that produced over 12 months, $1,200, $2,700 a month year in cash flow, when it becomes vacant, here's what happened. Here's the problem: the cost to fix it up, right? To get someone over to empty it out, to go in, to change the carpet, to repaint some of the rooms, to clean the cabinets, maybe replace an appliance or two, to clean it all up, to make it re-rentable, it's going to cost you $2,700. Okay, so you just wiped out a whole year of cash flow when that one person in your single family home moved out. Okay, it's going to cost you that much to get it rentable again. Okay, that's problem number one. Problem number two is because it's a home, it's going to take 45 to 60 days for a new tenant to move in, okay? To completely move in, right? To get it fixed up, to show it, to do the tenant qualification, to get them moved in. It can take 45 to 60 days. And that time frame, if your rent is $1,500 a month, you lost up to $3,000. Okay, so you lost up to $3,000 plus you just spent another $2,700. Okay, so that's the main problem. It's all about efficiency. Okay, now hear me out. With one vacant unit of your apartment building, it's going to, and we speak from personal experience, okay? It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks to get it rentable, to be able to be shown, okay? And some of our larger properties, guess what? In most cases, we have a deposit for a new tenant to move in before it's even ready, okay? That is very common for us when we have a lot of units. So in less than a month, the one vacant apartment that we have is re-rented. Less than a month as opposed to the 45 to 60 days here for a single family home. So why is that? It's because it's easier to systematize one building as opposed to 10 separate buildings. Got it? Okay. Last but not least, one of the reasons why it cash flows is in actuality, I'm going to show pictures of a couple of our students here who came to us years ago and said, Peter, we have a whole lot of single family homes. We're coming to you because we can't retire. We don't have enough cash flow. We can't scale, right? So they came to us and they bought multifamily properties. Their whole life has changed. Got it? Okay. All right. Hopefully I convinced you. Now, what I want to do next is go over with you the next topic. All right. Let's do that next. Got questions? Simply text the word Peter to 833-942-4516 and we'll help you. All right, let's go over this question. I have a lot of experience here because I've owned both. I own multifamily and I used to own single family rentals, and I made the switch many years ago. And here's why. All right, the question is, which one has less headaches? Okay, this was me right here. So I'm going to explain this to you. Very simply, would you rather deal with 10 roofs or one roof? Okay. Would you rather maintain 10 mortgages or just one mortgage? Okay. And lastly, this was me here. This is totally why I switched over to multifamily. Would you rather organize and maintain bookkeeping, okay, with your bookkeeper or yourself, 10 separate properties or one set of books for one property? Okay, this will take you forever. That was me versus one, which was like heaven. All right, all right. Here's the one undeniable truth I want to share with you. Okay, and we'll answer this question. The highest and best use of a single family home is not for it to be rented out. The highest and best use is for someone to live in it. So there you go. Okay. That answers that question. All right. Let's go to the last piece. And this is just as exciting. Which one of these has the best tax benefits? Let's do that next. Here we are. Last but not least, which one has the best tax write-offs? Okay, the tax benefits. And here we go. All right, so we're going to compare 10 single-family rentals versus the one 10-unit multifamily property. For tax benefits, for us real estate investors, depreciation is huge, right? That is probably the best thing besides cash flow that we have to look forward to after every year of owning real estate, okay? And so depreciation is number one. Well, if you own 10 single family rentals, each one you can depreciate over 27 and a half years, okay? Each one, each individual one. But if you have just one building, right, where the one building, the structure has a higher proportion versus the land, the depreciation benefits are so much better, so much more impactful than writing off each single one 10 times. Okay, so this is a winner by far by having the one 10-unit property housing 10 units. Okay, next is cost segregation benefits. If you recall, well, a link will appear on cost segs. It's called cost seg made simple. It will appear on the screen so you can understand what that is. That basically that's supercharging your tax savings on your commercial property, and you can actually do it on your single family homes too. The impact is small, but on a 10-unit apartment building, because you have a higher cost basis, the depreciation, well, let me just say this. For this 10-unit apartment building, imagine writing off 10 sets of appliances, 10 sets of drapes, 10 sets of carpet, 10 sets of air conditioning, 10 sets of heaters, okay? All in 1 year or separated or rapidly depreciated over 5, 7, or 15 years. Amazing tax benefits when you think of cost seg for a multi-family property, especially a property of this size. Amazing, no comparison to your single family homes. No comparison. Okay, I saved, I think, the best for last. Okay, 1031 exchange benefits. 1031 exchange is when you take your single family home, okay, it's a rental, okay, single family rental, and then you sell it and then you exchange it into another larger, hopefully more cash flow producing property. And you can do that if you follow the 1030 exchange rules. You can defer paying capital gains taxes. Okay, I have a video that will appear of how exactly that works. Okay, so you can do that for single family homes, but if you have 10, imagine doing that 10 times. It just won't work. Okay, you can try it doing one at a time, but doing 10, oh boy, it's going to take you forever, and there's 10 transactions. Or you can try to sell all 10 at the same time, but you'd have to find a buyer that wants to buy all 10 of your single family homes in one transaction. Very difficult. Now, if we go over to this life changer, imagine having one building and doing one transaction. Okay, amazing. So imagine buying a 10-unit single family rental. Let's say you buy it at $1.5 million, and over the course of 10 or 5 years, you got the rents up, $100, $200 more per unit. that rental, that value is going to increase probably from 1.5 to 2.5 million. And then you can sell that property and take all the equity into maybe a 40 or 50 or 100 unit property. Okay, if done well, if you hold it long enough. Can't do that over here. Okay, so remember the question, the original question I had early on a few minutes ago. Which one will lead you faster to financial freedom? Right? I think you know the answer is right here. This is how I achieved financial freedom, and so did our students. This way, by taking their small rentals and strategically selling them and upgrading into a larger property, redoing that property, making it worth more, and then selling and going larger and larger over years. This is how you achieve financial freedom the fastest. All right. Okay, there you have it. So thank you for hanging out this long. And you know what I mean. If you're here still with me, you are my favorite. So I thank you so much. If you want to become a student of ours, a link will appear on the screen. I just want to say thank you so much for just hanging out with me this afternoon, and I'll see you at the next video. Click subscribe and add alerts so you can get more easy to understand commercial and multifamily wisdom.